his mouth and give our hood a bad name. Why he couldn't keep it silent and take his case like a man. Why everybody hate my hood.
My guy Mikey Swisher is in the building. Barz2Brickz, man, we are building. My brothers who coming home from them bars and heading back to the bricks, man. Mikey Swisher in the building. What's up, Mike?
What's up, bro? What's good?
Well, we got a new guest in the building. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Mike Ford with Mike Ford's personal training.
How you doing, Mike? We got a few questions for you, man. I'm gonna ease into it and just let you kind of go ahead and give you a little bit of background about yourself, and then we'll go from there.
Background on myself, I probably came off the porch anywhere around 92, 93. It was popular at that time, hopping fences, keeping packs in the corner of your mouth, riding my bike with them in my grips on my handlebars. That was normal in our era. We came up in the crack era. We came up in the money getting. It really wasn't about a lot of robbing in our neighborhood. It was about getting up and getting it on your own. And that's what we was really about. It led into me going to 97. I would say I caught my first murder then, and then I had a murder and 4 attempted murders. So when I got locked up, they pretty much just gave me 110 years is what I was facing. So I sat in there, I sat in a block 2T, which in 2T you had everybody in there for murder robbery. I think the lowest person that went home in that block had 35 years. And we looked at that like it was hope, you know. You gotta realize that everybody in there is from 17, because I was 17. I hadn't turned 18 yet until the next summer. I still can remember it. I was, when I got locked up with my lawyer, he's like, Mike, here, turn yourself in. It's going to make you look good. You already done paid the lawyer up. And December the 10th of 1997 is when I turned myself in. And that's when I had those 5 Class A's, is what you call it, a murder and 4 attempted murders. And then I fought it in court, even though, you know, and I'll say that because it needs to be said. The dude that knew I didn't even do it, he still came and testified against me and pointed at me. And I still say that because he was wrong for that. At that time, he was 22 and I was 17. But I'm feeling like I'm the youngster. I'm feeling like I'm the one that's holding the code. That what handles in the street, we'll get back to it and handle it in the street. But you don't do it in front of these white people. That's just the way we was taught with our era. So our era was all about loyalty. Our era was about being solid. Our era was about the neighborhood was our neighborhood. And not only did we love our neighborhood, but that's what protected us in the neighborhood, because you couldn't really get us to sell to an informant because everybody we was selling to was auntie or aunt. They was the ones that was getting high. So it was hard for you to say that you gonna catch us selling dope to, who are you? Where you come from? Why you even on our street? So that was our mentality of being safe. So after that, I ended up waiting in the county for about like a year, a little over a year, and of course I'm in there with everybody. All of the big dudes that was in our city. I mean, you when you around real solid cats, that they real killers. They are who they are, and it's not no plaything. A lot of dudes that I knew growing up with, and even with Mike's dad, was we affectionately loved, not just liked. We didn't just like your dad. We loved him. You know, we loved the way when he come through, he gonna play us. He gonna always put us up on, hold up, watch out, because Vader just drove down there. The police just came down there. So when you have a bond with people like that in the neighborhood, it goes from you just in the neighborhood running the streets. It grows to, this is our family.
Yeah.
And that's how we looked at growing up in the streets. But when I did my time and I came home, it was like I did bodybuilding shows in the joint. So when I was in prison in Westville, I won first place a couple times doing bodybuilding shows for my weight class and my division. It was crazy because Mike from the neighborhood, which is Sammy's big brother, a football head Sammy, his big brother Mike was the bodybuilder ripped up. He the one who got me ready for the stage. And when I started winning in the joint from doing like 50 to 100 dips in prison, it just ignited a switch on me as to say, Mike, this is easy to you. This is easy for you to be in shape. This is easy for you to train people. So when I got out, got my GED, got my time cut, I just came home and said, you know what, I'm going to go on and do this personal training. And when I did that, it allowed me to grow. It allowed me to expand as I got ISSA certified, as I started taking pictures, networking with people, because I was always me anyway in the streets. So it wasn't like I didn't know everybody. Everybody already knew me. It was just me rebranding myself from being a street dude to a personal trainer.
To a businessman.
And then the businessman turned into the business owner.
So that's where you got your love.
And that's where I got my original start, was in prison. And that's where I had the most support, was in prison, because they was like, well, Mike, go home and go do it. And I said, well, I'm going to go do it. The next you know, I wasn't out a good 6 months. I paired up with a guy at a gym, and I got to training there with him. And by me coming home with cigarette money, because we was in there selling cigarettes, we was making a little money, so I came home with a couple thousand in my pocket. So I went and got a Range Rover from work release. I had a black one, so anybody who know me from the work release center at Liberty Hall, I was like the only one there with a Range Rover, fresh out with gator boots and all of the stuff that we did in the 90s, but transitioning to the 2000s. And that's how it just took off.
Let me ask you this, Mike. So when you, what was your aha moment? What was it in your, what happened in your life that you was like, man, you know what? I'm done with the streets.
I think that took time. That was something that it was hard to detach the brick dude, because the brick dude is what we took so much pride in. Because everybody's on zips. Maybe even a Big 8. Maybe even a 9-piece nugget. Or a Big 6. So in between those numbers, you got so many guys that was hustling in them levels. But for you to be a brick dude, that was everything. You was somebody. I ain't just any old body. So detaching yourself from a brick dude to a business dude is one of the hardest things ever, because it still feels like your pride and your emotions is built up on being this dude. And I feel like even dudes like Meech, Supreme, Spradley, any dude that's an ultimate hustler, Toots, any of them that you would look at, and I love them. I love Sprad, Toots. I love them a lot. You know what I mean? Because they was genuinely good dudes that just love to see you get money. That's how I met them. I met them on, here, let's get money. What you need? What you got now? You got 10 bands, you got 5? Okay, here, look, I'm going to have them pull that around. And once you get used to that kind of dudes is want to see you get money, versus this era now where it's not like that. This era now is, I got money, but I want to show how much money I got in front of the next man, which is totally backwards. It wasn't like that. even when we first started selling dope on my grandma's street with my big cousin Raylan, when we was in Raylan's house, you took turns. It wasn't just no one person get to lock this whole house down and call it their trap. It was, it's your turn, he sting, the next sting, he sting. Everybody get a chance to sting. And then once everybody done sold all of their stuff, then we get to go to the mall, go get an airbrush t-shirt to match our new shoes. So it was set up in a different way of a family bond. Our neighborhoods was clicked up like that. So it was hard to detach from that.
Yeah,
That wasn't just no easy flip.
What happened? What I'm asking, let me be a little bit more clear, is what happened to where you was like, I'm done with the streets. I don't want to deal with the streets no more. I want to be straight, legit now. What happened?
I think
what clicked to you?
I think what really clicked in my head with that was the fact that I could actually talk to the mayor. That I actually got a program with the mayor for 3 years. And I'm sitting back saying, wow, every time I see Joe Hogsett, he gives me a hug. And when I see his wife, she's super cool. You know, Andre Carson, being able to network with them, and then I can text them back and forth. Like, they really support my kids' program. I think that's what really was the ignite. Because it was like, Mike, you already here. What would you want to keep on keeping your foot over here in the streets where anything can happen? And it don't take nothing but something in the little corner of a baggie to throw all of that away. So you will work so hard on this legal and just for something in the corner of a baggie to blow it all away. That switch right there in my mind was like, it was almost like a vampire when you bite and you taste that blood for the first time. It's like, man, this tastes different. It's a whole different thing, meaning now I got taxes. I got my paperwork is turned in early. My 501(c) is set up straight. Oh, now I got options to work with a celebrity. And then it's like, so it took me to be able to see that life was bigger. And then on top of that, it took for me to be able to see that I'm going to lose it all if I keep playing with these streets. I know the outcome with them, but that was what was embedded in our head. If you can flip this, you got this. If you can flip this, you got this more. So with that mindset, it was hard to erase that if I put another system, a legal system, I don't have to worry about going to sleep worrying about them kicking in the door or keeping 2 or 3 different phones, rotating and driving and sending this on the highway. So what I end up doing is I'm state to state. It's very few people that can sit there and say, no, I can throw a football to Dallas, Houston, Long Beach with my cousins like that. You get what I'm saying? So when you rotating with people like that, and when I switched, I said, man, I want to start doing boxing programs. So my boxing ring gets here this week. I looked at it like, well, let me go on and learn who is the who's in the neighborhood. I'll go ahead and start hitting up all of the community centers and letting the kids bump in my boxing ring. Put a sign-up sheet. And I'll put that winner with the Golden Glove winner, and now I'm going to know who the real bumper is in the hood. Because I'm from the hood. How you going to tell me who I can go door to door and knock on the door and ask her what's up with their mama? I ain't seen her in a while. That's how our neighborhood was set up. You get what I mean?
It's important that, like, just like you said about, Spradley and all these, if you put any of us in a situation where most of these, and not to be racist, but most of these Caucasian, Asian, whatever other race kids, them same people can run Fortune 500 companies easily because of the way they put in systems, the way that they get things through, the way that us three at this table moved when we were youngsters. If we would have put that same energy and that same aspect like you're doing now into your business, it's no roof onto where we can go, and we're not looking over our shoulder.
Yeah, I think what really separated me, because see, you know me, I stayed on 40th and Arlington. That was my street. I might have been 15, 16, and 17 before I caught my case, but that was my street. And I mean, everything up and down that street is my street. I'm talking about food stamps to you name it. I already know. And I already know when they click, when they hit, all of that. This is my street. And now over there on the other side, you got Metal Arc and you got them over there. Them is my brothers over there too. But that was them over there. And we all talked. We always would talk. Hey, look, bro, yep, such and such just shook down. It just happened here. Come on. So being able to quarterback my own street is what gave me the very first confidence of how to move men. Because they was all older than me. So for me to be able to quarterback my street, that right there let me know I could run a business. That let me know that, yeah, I can really do this. And it might have been illegal, but that illegal confidence that it gave me as being who I am solidified it. You know what I mean? It put that stamp on it like, no, this is my street, my neighborhood over here, and anything I want, I'm getting it. And best believe the OGs made sure I had a good price to get it. It's like, what of old schools love you? I said, I know, because I keep my money turned the same direction. And that's why the nickname was M1, because my money was always on point. So yeah, that's another factor too. And I feel like the youngsters don't really take pride in making sure that they pay the money right. I think they glorify running off with the plugs money and all of this ridiculous stuff, which makes enemies, instead of building new bridges. And then when you might have ran through 2 or 3 of them, now they already said, here go another 5 I set to the side, because we already knew you was going to be ready. But if you running off with them, then you'll never grow with nothing.
Well,
So
my fault, bro.
no, go ahead.
We know you ain't pushing that envelope for young brothers to go out and do any illegal activity, but
Not at all.
so let's talk about your non-profit, right?
Yeah, my non-for-profit is like guns down, gloves up. I partnered that with a brother in Dallas, Texas. His is guns down, gloves up, BNFA, bar none, fade all. He just had a show this Saturday over here in St. Louis, Missouri, with 2 girls. I didn't get to make it because I was double booked. But what I'm saying is my program is set up with mental health and mental trauma with gun violence, because people in our families, and I'm just going to say in the urban black community, it's hard for black people to talk about what actually happened. The only time we going to really talk about it is if we getting dressed. That's it. And I feel like that's what needs to change. If we're going to keep getting dressed, then we're going to keep getting dressed. Because it's always going to be another ignorant excuse for us to be in another ignorant situation. And as long as we stay ignorant, then we're going to stay ignorant. But it's up to us to rise and really become kings, where we actually stand on our youngsters and stand in the neighborhood and grab the other little youngsters. Here, man, give me that switch you got in your pocket. I already got the other little dude's switch. Y'all two go on and throw these gloves on up here in my ring at my gym, and y'all go on and bump it out, because this is where it need to stay small. It don't need to come up big to where now your mama got to bury you, and she ain't even got it to bury you anyway. She ain't even got no insurance to do it. And on top of that, she can't even afford to repast or none of the funeral arrangements for you. So you just a whole inconvenience altogether, little dude.
There's something that Swisher said the other day that was poignant to me, and it goes to what you're saying about the conflict resolution and about bearing a child, which unfortunately I've had to do. My 19-year-old was killed in 2020. Had to pay for it. You know, wasn't no insurance. I had to pull it out of my pocket and pay for it. But what he said was, you don't understand when you put yourself in those situations. When you're in the penitentiary, the people who love you in the penitentiary with you.
Believe me, they are.
Your mom in the penitentiary, your grandma, your auntie.
They do every day with you.
So if you go in that ground, part of them going in that ground also.
Yeah,
So
they
that
lose a part of
conflict-
them.
That conflict resolution is a big thing. Like, it's nothing. I was watching Gilly the other day, and it was so poignant watching him and him talk about in the Muslim religion. You watch when your child die or your loved one die, you have to wash the body. But I couldn't imagine having to go in there and do that with my wife and my son. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that would have been tremendous to actually put soap and water on your baby's skin,
cold.
knowing that his skin is cold.
Knowing I'm never gonna see him again.
Ever again.
So having something like that is big, and that's what we want to push. Getting your background was poignant, but now we want to push forward and learn about all these other things that you got going on. I commend you for having that guns down, gloves up, man. I mean, that's something that we want to help get behind, and this is a part of it. This is why we want to have this conversation.
And I appreciate that because it was a real fragile. I mean, do you know how hard that was to sit there and make a phone call to say, hey, I got a guns down, gloves up program. And the first lady I did it with was Nene from Brightwood. And that's because me and her went to junior high together, 7th and 8th grade together. So it was kind of like, I know you don't want to talk about your son passing, but right now I think it's important. And she agreed to do it with me, and that's what brought the counselors together. From the counselors to now, we actually got our first session starting on March the 1st. But had I not been brave enough to stand out there and ask her to talk about your loved one that passed, this is your child, this is your son, and all you got left is his son, Lil Scooter. So it's like that turned on a switch inside of her to say, Mike, I've been over here silently dying with this because it ain't nobody to talk to. And when she said that word ain't, meaning there isn't anybody that I feel that I could talk to that will relate to me. And if you never lost a son, then please don't even bring up the subject to me, is the way she was saying it.
That's how you feel.
And that's exactly how you feel. So that's how I felt with, now I'm working with one of my big sisters that's overall reentry, but that reentry provides counselors when you have a loved one that's murdered. But they didn't want to talk to them people. They like, why would I talk to the people that's working for the city when I know all they going to do is take whatever I say to them and use it against the court case that we got coming up. The court case is still open. And then everybody know there's no statutes of limitations on a murder, on no body. So common sense, we might not know the whole legal book, but we know that much. So that was another reason why I implemented the counselors. So it could be a safe place. It could be a home base. And not only that, but these people are black too. These people have lost loved ones too. So, and it stays right here too. And we get to heal from the inside out. Instead of walking around hurting, knowing you hurting, knowing you slowly dying inside because you don't have enough heart to tell somebody, I need help.
Absolutely. I mean, and the kids don't, that's why they need brothers like y'all. That's why they need brothers like me to bring these dialogues together, to know that we've been there. We've been in the streets. We've been watched our friend die. We seen those things that you now going through, and we had to work our way through it to get to where we at now. The smartest person learns from the next man's mistakes and doesn't make the mistake themselves. And I ain't make that up. That's something that I read, and when I looked at it, I was like, man, just imagine if somebody's walking in front of you and they bump your head, what you gonna do is you gonna duck. You understand what I'm saying? But we don't watch the person that's walking in front of us, or we don't listen to them. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's important to have brothers like y'all, the Barz2Brickz platform, the guns down, gloves up that you got going on. That's why these things are important, because maybe the next young man will duck because he see what's coming.
Yeah, I think it's very important to put these programs out there so it is a place to go. Because right now, I think the hardest part for us as black people is when we do get a murdered loved one in our family, you're going to put the picture of them in the front yard. Everybody in the family going to come over, eat and drink, but nobody's going to talk about it in a positive way. Nobody's going to talk about it in a way of saying, how do we settle this? How do we settle this with the other family over there? Like back in the day when we was kids, if you stole my bike or I stole your bike or whatever, your mother and my mother will go over there and get each other, say, boy, and give you a whooping right then and there and get a bike back. What happens when the guns is involved? Nothing. So all of that just stops. It's no more family, community, neighborhood love. And that's what we missing. And that's what OGs like us, we can do, because we officials. We ain't never been no snitches. We ain't never did nothing that was foul, messing with kids, nothing to tarnish our name, period. So we solidified as being real. And we walked it, and then everybody in the neighborhood knows us. So then that way, all I got to do is say my name. Tell them Mike Ford. Tell them I'm coming. Oh, no, I'm coming over there. Oh, okay, cool. Now they already know it's a peaceful thing. We just coming to have a sit down to talk to this parent and to that parent. And all right, here, give me the little young dude. How old is he? 19, 20 years old. Hey, look, little partner, what are you so hot about? No. And really sit there and you tell me to your face, what are you so mad about? No, what did he do that bad that you just shot at him and you ain't hit him? But at the end of the day, how do we keep it from being an actual murder? And then that way, here, give me your pistol, give me his when his boxing match is over, though. You get what I'm saying? But there's got to be some kind of sit down in our community and in our neighborhood to where we can have some kind of justice instead of either getting gunned down by the police or just getting gunned down by some youngsters that didn't have nothing to do with it. He just riding in the car with the other dude, so he don't even know the other dude. He just shooting because he really just going along, young and dumb. So that is my real reason for it, because all of it's senseless when you look at it. And then how long are we going to keep standing back like we don't know that we can help? We know we can help. So why won't we just step up and help, actually, and put it into action?
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this, though. So, as everybody know, I just came home, right? Mm-hmm. And so for brothers that's coming home, what kind of advice would you give to brothers that's coming home that's sincere in reform and not trying to go to the streets?
I would say if you really, really got this in your soul and your spirit to be better, then do it. And the reason why I say that is because now you walking in your purpose. So a whole door gonna open up for just you. Your door ain't like no other. It ain't nothing like my door. That's your door. So that's what I say with your Barz2Brickz platform, with you just coming home in a matter of months. You fresh from doing, 22 years? You just did 22 years of your life for something you didn't even do. Period. You get what I mean? So when you lose that many, two decades plus 2 years of your life, it's a humongous door that God got wide open for you. But you got to be strong enough to stand up and walk through it. Don't be scared of it. Don't be scared because you thinking, oh, this is the uncharted. I ain't never been here before. That's the number one reason that holds them back. It's called fear. So now you'll stay in the rhythm where you been doing. So now you're going to keep getting the same results. Fuck that fear. Step out of that and step into what's real. And when you stay in what's real, it's endless. You could be global in a matter of months.
Success is on the other
Success
side
is way bigger on the other side of that. Yeah. Now you ask me why I changed my life. I would say I was tired of taking losses. Literally. I'm tired of taking losses in big bulks. I'm not talking about 5 bands here and there. I'm talking about big bulks. Because everything you doing is through the air. Or it's a car, it's pulling up in order to get that price. Because you can't. Dudes like us, we can't make money in the city. What is that little point in between? That ain't no real money. So you got to go to a place where it's cheaper out of this over here in order to bring it back here. So at the end of the day, what you telling me is we're learning import export. If that's what you're calling business. So I've been doing import exports. I've been doing price margins, and then still got to make sure I put a couple points for my local guys in the neighborhood to make their bands. So we always know how to adjust prices. We're still businessmen. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the product is. Absolutely. That's why I said no. I took my business savvy sense from the streets. But in the legal business, it was so important to really grow. Because if not, you a dinosaur. You steady listening and trying to be an old street hustler. And now you got to convert. Everything is on a computer. Even an Uber, anything you want to eat is still on a computer. You pressing the button, boom, 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 boom. The money already been transferred. Okay? So you can't stay there. It ain't about can I. It's about, dude, that's over. It's all over. No, just pay attention. Life is going this way fast. AI is moving quick. It's not ChatGPT and all them other little sites. It's moving so fast. So what's wrong with you? You think you gonna stay there forever? That's the reason why they got to. It ain't about, is it an option anymore? It's an option to, do you want to grow or do you want to stay stagnant?
And we were just having this conversation with sis in the other room before. It absolutely takes a village to change the youth, but the streets, as we know it, is dead, bro. The honor is dead. The glorifying snitching. The shooter is now the man. He ain't got nothing but his gun in his mama house, but you following him. All the stuff that we learned that was good in the game that we can take out and now present legally is not in the game no more. They taking that away from us. They pushing the kids towards. That's why they putting it. I posted a meme the other day. They was like, when we was young, your first gun was like a little 22. Then they put you with the extended clip. Now they got the switch on. They want us to kill each other. They giving us the means.
They're giving us the means to kill each other. I feel like it's all a design. And if you gonna keep playing into that design, then you just basically did the work for them. You working for them.
I hate to say this, man. You know what I mean? But I'm just gonna call it what it is. You know, we are the terrorists. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you when you adapt that mentality to destroy, right? You terrorizing your community.
Oh, absolutely.
So you're a terrorist, and you know that's why I really wanted you to come on this platform, bro. Is for everybody to see that it's not about being a terrorist anymore. It's about building, and we can do it in the legit
most
platform.
Definitely.
You know, because everybody, and I hate to say this, but everybody has a misconception of brothers that we can only do it selling drugs. Or we have to do it in the streets.
They don't see it.
They don't see brothers like yourself that's really had to work. That's really had to, you know, build their brand. Because let's be honest, right? Drugs sell themselves.
Absolutely.
And for you to be an honest, working person, you have to really go out and work. Especially when you owning your own. Can you tell me the type of hours you
the hours that I put into my business is around the clock. Almost sometimes, and I'm gonna say it right here, and it will almost make me really feel like dropping a tear. I really feel like the hours I done put into my business and running my business for the last 11 years, I feel like I sacrificed my kids, because the amount of time that I be in this gym, around this gym, and outside marketing, legal, for-profit, then my non-for-profit just done came in, and it's running crazy right now. So, and I can see that this Guns Down, Gloves Up, it's a movement. I mean, it's okay to call it a non-for-profit, but it's really a movement. And it's a statewide movement from my buddies in Chicago all the way down there to Texas. It's a thing that I still struggle with, and I know as the money is coming up and all of this stuff is going with it, I'm being able to free myself up to spend more time with my daughters, but that's been a real hard thing with me because they live in Atlanta. So did I pay the ultimate price? The ultimate price is sacrificing your loved ones in any situation. I wouldn't give a care what it is. If I'm going to war with you, I'm going to war with you, and whose house is everybody know it is in the neighborhood? Either your mama's house, your grandma's house. So the ultimate sacrifice is the family. So giving that up in order to keep this business running and to stay legit, I felt like I paid the ultimate price.
But you're doing something positive, and you're making it a safer place for those children. A lot of times you got to think of the great leaders. A lot of their time was spent away from their family, but they were doing a lot to make it a safer place for those children to grow up in. Unless we leaving them a place where they not going to be safe, them young ladies not going to be safe. And I got 2 daughters and a son. I got a daughter in Alabama, so I know that feeling. But if I don't do my part to make this a safer community or a safer world,
I feel like it was pointless.
It's pointless.
Yeah, that is a good way of reassuring from that. But to me, that was the hardest of all, is the time away from family. But I really feel like right now, the new ballers right now, the dudes is really getting it right now is business owners.
That's it.
Business owners, because the business owners are the ones that's being able to give their time. Time is so important. That's the only thing we get on this earth is our time. And how do you spend your time? If I'm spending my time with mama, grandmama, and my daughters, I'm in heaven. I'm in heaven with them. But you got to have that business savvy sense to say that business is running from 8 to 5. After once I get off of work, now I'm with family. You get what I mean? And I feel like we need to glorify business owners to the level of a brick baller that's got all the dope in the city.
That's why
because
Barz2Brickz right
that's the exchange. The exchange is saying the brick dudes is no more. Glorify the business owners, because they're not only putting the pieces together and showing you how to make more money, and then also showing how to make the other legacy of it all coming together to already have it set up like what I'm doing now.
Absolutely.
With my little cousin. I got my baby cousin with me. Today was his first day getting to work on the job with me. You should have seen him. He was happy as hell. At 10 o'clock, he was on time. Because his work release people, I typed his letter up with the letterhead, everything to get him in there. Because he's fighting a pistol case. But he's so precious to our family because he's the middle son. His oldest brother already died in Wabash. And his youngest little brother just got killed over here off of 38th Street right next to AutoZone at that gas station in the back. You'll see his picture and stuff is in the back of that gas station right there on 38th Street. So for him to be the only son left of my auntie's sons, it's everything that makes sure that he's in here next to me, at the gym with me. He's doing his tattoos. He's booking it. I'm up here telling his probation people, his case manager, I'm telling her he's working. But on Saturday, he's going to do counseling too. So that way when he go back to court, I can tell the judge, hey, with the counselor to appear in court to say, hey, we already working on him. You talking about rehabilitation, right? So you won't have to sentence him to get the rehabilitation. We working on it right now.
We already got a plan.
We working on it right now. And if you allow him to stay home with us and work it out with this pistol case, then now I can attract other brothers that's fighting a pistol case that really needs rehabilitation with a job. So that job gives them income.
Absolutely.
And on top of that, our other hardest part about being a felon is the fact that we can't get an apartment or a place to stay on your own with a felony. So thank God we had an older cousin who owned a house, and we allowed him to pay his rent to that house. So that is his own house. Now that's rare within itself.
Everything you talking aligns to what Barz2Brickz and what my guy Swisher been doing. This is the work that we doing, and it's important that we had these conversations. Just because, like in the beginning, when you was talking about the connection you was making in the streets, we need to make those same connections with people that are doing the work in the community.
Now, what I'm gonna say about that, and I'm gonna poke my chest out with that. I'm connected to a lot of brothers. And what I mean by a lot of brothers is legal. I'm talking about a lot of brothers from the 100 Black Men. Me and the dude that's the president over the whole 100 Black Men. I'm talking about global. But a lot of people don't even know that 100 Black Men goes all the way to UK and England. They got a chapter in every state all the way to another country. You get what I mean? But a lot of those people aren't as accessible to these dudes in the neighborhood. So, yeah, I'm a hell of a networker because I am Mike Ford. So I've been a brand. I've built my brand to be established like that. But what I'm saying is I want to be that for the inner city and for the neighborhood and for the guys who don't know those people, but they do know me. And they at least say, hey, he's not a gatekeeper. He's not one of them that's going to give you a little bit of information, then click on this and then go on that. Nah, here, come on in here, let's get to it. Because I already got a lawyer for branding and marketing. I got a lawyer for civil cases and criminal cases. No, we got this set like this. And that's where we're going to create change. Change has to be able to be acceptable. Because if you telling me to drop what I got in my hand right now, if this dope or these pills or this smoke or this whatever I'm doing illegal,
Gotta have something to replace.
you got to put something else in that hand. And as long as you put something else in that hand, now you put something else in their mind. And now those two together with their mind and their hands moving is called action. And that's the only thing that changes is action.
I appreciate that, Mike. And that's part of the reason why I wanted.
Big bro.
That's part of the reason why I wanted you on this because I'm trying to build this platform to where brothers, sisters that needs resources can reach out to us, and we can reach out to your platform or any other platform that's about
That's doing the work.
That's doing the work. And
That's
I commend
in the ground.
that.
We in the ground right
I
now.
commend you for the work you're doing, Mike. And
Appreciate that.
anytime you need my help to talk to the little youngsters, I'm willing to do that. And
You need the
anybody out there
platform.
that anybody out there that's serious about helping the community, please reach out to Barz2Brickz, y'all. So we gonna end this with this right here, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us what you got going on.
All your business.
All your businesses.
Today's Monday, so Monday, Wednesday, and Friday we got boxing classes from 6 to 8. I would advise you to bring a 5-year-old all the way up to an adult that want to fight amateur, or if they don't even want to fight amateur or pro, they just want to get their stomach down a little bit. I'm there to do that. The counseling classes is with Nora Indy. That's who I partnered up with. So I can also give you mental health. And that's very important in our community. I don't know why we felt like we were the only human being or the only human race that didn't need to strengthen our mental strength for mental health. Because you got to be able to cleanse that out and to get all of that hurt and trauma out. Because a lot of us have seen people shot. A lot of people have seen blood splat all over the place. But if you don't actually get help for those issues, because a lot of that's called abnormal. But we done seen so much in the neighborhood to where it became normal. Absolutely. So if you could get all of that out of your head and really focus on positivity, then you can actually grow. But like I said, I'm located on 2326 East 44th Street. It's called Mike Ford's Personal Training, but we're changing the name to Indie Champs. So you'll see our new logo up. You'll see the tournaments that we're going to be doing in the community centers. And the way that I said that I was going to reach everybody is with one way. I don't know a state that doesn't have a community center on Martin Luther King Street. It's a Martin Luther King Street in every state I done been to. And that's where you gonna find me. So you can't say I'm not hood. You can't say I ain't right there in the middle of it. And I'm right there in the middle of it with you and your babies. So that's where I'ma be. And to me, Nipsey Hussle, those kind of figures are the figures that Huey Newton was built upon with Black Panther, giving to our community, feeding our kids, educating our kids. And to me, if you was to tell me I could pick to be anything in this world, make me a real hood OG.
You dig?
Make me that. Make me that. Make me him. It's right there.
We're gonna end it right there, man.
I appreciate you, Mike.
That's what's up, man.
Barz2Brickz, Mikey Swisher.
Let me be that.
It's your boy King Chaos, man. It's been another dope episode. Thank you, Mike Ford, for stopping through, man.
Genuine
Signing
love,
out, man. We out of here.
All right.
Hey, why do niggas play tough and they know they hoes? Why they gossip like bitches, like that type of shit is cool? Why my nigga run his mouth and give our hood a bad name? Why he couldn't keep